Coming up on Connects, later, new talk of taxes in Olympia to balance our growing budget deficit. Still ahead, former Governor Gary Locke gets tapped by the Obama administration. Right now, the digital dilemma. Are cell phones and other gadgets hurting our mental and physical health? Technology has sure come a long way. Between cell phones, laptops, and wireless networks, you can be connected just about anywhere. A lot of technology is designed to make us more productive, presumably giving us more personal time for ourselves. But as senior producer Ethan Morris shows us, some think they're leaving us with no time to even think.
Cell phones, cyberspace, texting, video games. Welcome to the digital age, an era of remarkable advances in communications and productivity. But some experts worry dangerous side effects lurk behind the aura.
Hi, Ellen.
Oh, hi, Dr. Speck.
How are you doing today?
Sarah Speck has been a heart specialist for 25 years, roughly the lifespan so far of the digital age. And each day she deals with some of its unintended side effects.
I see. When someone sits at a computer every day for 8 hours instead of getting up and walking, they have more obesity, they therefore have more hypertension, they therefore have more problems with cholesterol, they have a higher risk of heart disease and stroke.
No palpitations, heart flutter, skip beats, lightheadedness?
Well, as usual, a few skip beats.
The new technologies were supposed to make life easier. But that's not what Dr. Speck hears from her patients.
It can be very stressful to open up 380 emails, you know.
They are now being asked to do more at work. They have less time to spend with their families. They have less balance in their life. We also see people who aren't making good choices because they simply don't have the time.
There is at least one true universal.
Professor David Levy is an unlikely critic of the digital age. He teaches in the Information School at the University of Washington.
The truth is that as a computer scientist, I love aspects of all the new technologies. I love having a cell phone. I love using my laptop.
But Levy began to question the new technologies 15 years ago while working as a researcher for the Xerox Corporation.
What I've been trying to do over the last decade is to raise the level of awareness within our culture about the need to find balance between the speeded up, plugged in, overloaded ways of living and working, and on the other hand, the quieter, slower, more contemplative ways of being.
Levy discovered the ideas of Vannevar Bush, a scientist whose work helped lead to the development of the Internet.
He was aware of a growing problem of information overload, and he thought that researchers and professionals of all kinds would have a much easier time finding information and then having the time to reflect on it if information could be organized with these kinds of links.
But a contemporary of Bush, the German theologian Joseph Pieper, was less optimistic.
Section 5, give it the limit.
He too recognized that there were issues of information overload. He also recognized that the Western world was accelerating and that work was speeding up. He worried that the West was entering into a world of what he called total work.
Smile. Why not? All she had to do was cut one strip around the outside of the lawn and then set the mower on automatic.
Our new technologies do save time, but Levy believes Pieper's concerns were visionary. Instead of using that time for contemplation, friendship, or exercise, we filled it with greater demands for producing and consuming, and as quickly as possible. The digital age only adds to those demands.
Laptops and cell phones allow us to work anywhere, including at home or at the beach.
Levy observes that even in academia, the constant pressure to produce ever more rapidly leaves little time for deep thought about the enormous problems we face in the world.
There's increasing evidence, in fact, in neuroscience, that the kinds of deeper forms of creativity and insight that are necessary, whether for scientific invention or for artist creativity, come out of a slower and more relaxed form of engagement with the world.
Yet even when we aren't working, the new technologies simply won't let us go.
It does seem pretty clear, to me at least, that there is an addictive quality to these technologies.
I probably spend about, I don't know, anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000 texts a month. I guess if someone were to take my phone away for about a week, I would feel that I had lost touch with the world almost. I'd be pretty lost.
You don't know for how long you sat on the computer until you're done and you look at the time and you're just like, wow.
I was in China.
Psychologist Hilary Cash is an expert in the field of internet addiction.
China has recognized it as such an important problem that they have now designated it their #1 public health threat.
A decade ago, Dr. Cash started a company called Internet and Computer Addiction Services.
What was just a trickle back then is becoming a flood. I think it's a huge problem in our culture generally, and a growing one.
The problem begins in childhood, especially for children who play a lot of video games.
The brain actually becomes wired for gaming. Their brains are not getting wired to be able to sit quietly, be contemplative, and as a result, I think that they are suffering from overstimulation.
Hilary Cash fears such children will become adults who are not able to form strong human attachments and whose computer addictions sometimes tear their lives apart. She warns parents to shield their children from digital temptation. Software developer Justin Magaram takes such advice seriously. He says he feels the addictive power of digital technology himself.
I mean, it's definitely a problem, and I suffer from it. You know, I check my email a lot. I've got a BlackBerry, and the times where I go without it, I do get a little anxious, and I'm not quite sure sort of what to do with myself.
Oh, yes!
You know, I want my kids to do sort of a healthy balance of activities. You know, to read, to play piano, to be outside.
Justin and his wife grew tired of continual power struggles with their boys over time spent playing video games.
So, you know, having a software background and really I like building software, I like designing it. I decided to build a software product called Time's Up Kids that helps solve this problem.
His new software sets a limit on children's computer time, shutting the games down when time is up.
Time's up.
Even if we can keep kids from becoming addicted to video games, the increasing demands of the digital age are daunting.
How do we find a way of allowing us to be able to deal with this explosive growth in access to content and continue with our businesses, continue with our personal lives, continue with the matter of living? It's a significant issue.
Venture capitalist Enrique Goudreau provides funding for companies that offer new ways to make sense of the rush of information.
I'm continuing to believe that there is a role for technology to play in helping to reestablish that balance, and that we're just simply at the very beginning of a birthplace of technology to be able to have greater control over these information assets.
Until that balance is reestablished, David Levy will continue to sound the alarm. He thinks we need a different sense of what matters in life if we wish to make the new technologies our tools instead of our masters.
If you'd like to hear more, you can watch a one-hour lecture that David Levy gave for Google Tech Talks. We've put a link to the video lecture on our website. Just go to kcts9.org/connects.